Welcome back to the counter. My name is James K. Holder II. Some of you may know me as Sir James II. And today we're working on one of my favorite recipes, which is a roasted kale pesto. Today we're using kale, pine nuts, garlic, and also Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese, along with our extra virgin olive oil. So without further ado, right now I have my pans warming in the oven. I'm going to take those out and I have my pre-rinsed kale set up and ready to go. I have my oven set to 425 and I previously rinsed this kale out. I'm going to spread it along my sheet here. I always like to warm my pans up so that they're not just cold when they go back into the oven. Some of the stems are still intact here, and that's fine because all of this is going to go into the food processor. But with our kale, we want to try to get as much of one even layer on this dish. This is just a great way to prepare your kale in general. I'm also going to add to this dish our pine nuts because I want to roast this along with our kale itself. We have our peeled garlic as it comes in the packaging, but it has this little stem on the end. So you always want to kind of just take that off. And all I want to do is just cut that off. I'm going to place this garlic on our sheet. Now, my favorite thing about this recipe is that it's easy to put together. It also is really affordable. It's a really good way to avoid wasting ingredients. Pesto in any form can be a great substitute for mayonnaise on your sandwiches. It can also be a really great way to coat a quick pasta dish or even just top a piece of roasted fish or chicken. Now with my clean hands, I want to go in and just sort of toss this, make sure that it's all coated, salt, and also pepper. I'm going to slide this right back into our 425-degree oven for about 10 minutes. I have this Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese. I get it. It's very expensive by the pound. And all I want to do here is just take the rind off. I tend to keep mine in the freezer, cut it into manageable chunks, and then wait for that's the timer on our kale. Perfect. And this is fantastic. We see we have a nice rich color, a rich green on our kale. No char really. The garlic is a little bit softened. The pine nuts are a little bit toasted and brown. All right, so I'm going to grab my blender to combine all these ingredients with our olive oil. It can go in hot, it's fine. And actually, if you left the pine nuts off, this would be a really great way to just enjoy your kale as is. It gives it a nice crispy texture and a lot more flavor. Making sure I get all the pine nuts in there. If I make a little bit of a mess, it's not a big deal. But I'll press this down a bit. And again, because I'm just using the amount of Parmesan cheese that I had. I want to use about half of this in this particular batch. So this is really just more about I guess it's about 2 ounces of Parmesan cheese. It's not really a lot, but if you factor the price out, that 2 ounces is about $2. Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese costs you about $16 to $17 per pound for the final product. So you definitely want to be really conservative in its use. So I'm going to add to this our roasted kale, pine nuts, and garlic, our Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese, and also a healthy helping of extra virgin olive oil. I'm starting it out with a lot, and I'm just going to see where it goes. I might just require a little bit more as we go along. So start pulsing here. Ready, you don't need to let it go too much more than that. I'm going to taste this for salt and heat. That's wonderful. The only thing I want to do is add some crushed pepper flakes, more salt to this. And I'm just going to continue, just do a quick blend on this. Stay up. And that's going to be good. All right. So this is what I'm looking for. So now I'm going to just add this to our previous batch. And there you have it, our roasted kale pesto with pine nuts, fresh roasted kale, garlic, crushed pepper flakes, and extra virgin olive oil. I hope you'll try this recipe and let me know what you think. Make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. I want you to retweet this and repeat this.